For Victims and Villains, my name is Josh, and today we are going to be talking about documentaries with the Mandela Effect phenomenon. So, as the title of the documentary suggests, this film explores the phenomenon surrounding the Mandela Effect. So, this movie is directed by and also stars Robert Caveat, and this is kind of where some of my bigger issues with this film come into play. And make no mistake of it, overall, I think this movie is a fascinating watch. It's really compelling. I walked away with new information that I didn't already know about the Mandela Effect. But this movie really feels like it's limited in the scope of the subject it's talking about. And that's my big problem with this movie. So this movie overall is a collection of YouTube clips and archival footage that is separated by interviews. And here is why I have a problem with that. I don't necessarily have a problem with the YouTube or archival footage. If you've seen the documentary, a self-inducing hallucination, it's one of my favorite documentaries. It's fascinating. It's an incredible watch. It's right here on YouTube. But it works in that manner. My problem is the interviews within this movie. So the interviews at its core takes place with not one, but two gentlemen. That is it. When I talk about the fact that this film limits itself and its potential to really talk about this phenomenon, this is what I'm talking about. So as I previously mentioned, Caveat is one of the film's subjects that does the interviewing and kind of speaks on the phenomenon and his relationship to the Mandela Effect. On the other side of that, you have a journalist by the name of Mark Laflamme, who, again, does the same exact thing, chronicles the multitude of the Mandela effects that have been captured over the years. Which is fine, and it is fascinating. I love the fact that they really do kind of touch on the science aspect of this, not the whole, oh, this is mass, like, misremembering kind of thing, but they actually dive into the scientific evidence of the Mandela effect, and I thought that that aspect was really compelling, but the rest of it kind of just going back and forth between Laflamme and Caveat just kind of didn't work as well as I wanted it to. I don't know if it's just a limitation in budget for the film, or if Caveat and Laflamme were two buddies that essentially just kind of started sharing stories, and they were like, we should make a documentary, and this was the byproduct of that conversation, or what. But this movie just really feels like it's so limited and so narrow in the broadness and subject matter that it's trying to address. Also, I'm slightly confused by the audience that Caveat is actually making this movie for. And if we've never met, you clicked on this video by sheer happenstance. Hi, my name is Josh. I am a Christian and on a podcast of Bizcasing, which I am the co-host of. I have addressed this several times. There have been several times in the media that we have produced at Victims and Villains that I have addressed this. I have made known where I stand on my beliefs when it comes to the Bible, Jesus, supernatural gifts, hell, etc. But it's always been in the context of the larger conversation that is being had. Throughout the film, they do touch occasionally on how scripture has been affected by the Mandela effect, which was something I had never took into consideration or never really knew or understood until this movie, so I was really appreciative of that. But with this movie, at the beginning of the film's third act, this film takes a complete hard right and completely just changes its tone entirely. Now, I don't want to spoil anything for anyone should they be interested to check out this movie, but it does expand upon that idea of how the Mandela effect has affected the Bible. Then somewhere along the way, it kind of just feels like it's become this Christian propaganda piece, and still tries to use the Mandela effect to justify the information it's giving the audience in this third act. The majority of this film feels very light and almost kind of playful in tone as it's diving into the science, as it's diving into the social media aspect of it, and just kind of exploring these different ideas of everything the Mandela effect is, its history. And then to take that hard right turn feels like you just kind of undid everything that you just spent the last hour doing. On the Rorschach rating scale, I'm going to go ahead and give the Mandela effect phenomena a 2.5 out of 5. Overall, this film has a lot going for it, but its limitation with its subject matter and the people presenting the information to the viewer, and as well as some of the film's tonal shifts, really kind of make this a mixed bag. And sometimes I walked away with this movie ultimately thinking that deep dive on YouTube probably would have been more entertaining. There is no mental health for this video, but you guys can check out the Mandela effect phenomenon for yourself when it hits digital this upcoming Tuesday, July 9th. Before you go, let me know in the comments below what your favorite Mandela effect is, or the most surprising one to you as well. I think, honestly, for some of us, the Berenstein Bears, I will go to my grave saying it's the Berenstein Bears, or the Fruit of the Loom, probably the ones that hurt the most. Yeah. So comment below and let me know. But if you or someone you know is struggling with suicide, addiction, self-harm, or depression, click the links in the show notes below to check out our mental health resource library. Once again, the Mandela effect phenomenon is available on all digital platforms and VOD beginning this Tuesday, July 9th. Until next time, remember to stay classy. Happy 4th of July.